Hello, welcome back. In today's video, I will show you some images I captured throughout this week of the surface of the sun, including today's view. It will show a highly dynamic surface. The sun is approaching the maximum in its 11-year cycle, and you will also see the rotation of the sun's surface. The sun also rotates despite not being a solid body. It also rotates, although at different speeds depending on the latitude. So let's start with the first light of my solar scope. So here you see this is actually the first image I captured on the 15th of October. You see this beautiful prominence here. It's it was an amazing view, a wow moment for me. I've never seen the sun in H alpha before. The next day, on the 16th, I captured this image, full disk image, and it shows a highly dynamic sun. We have lots of prominences on the edge of the solar disk. We have filaments, which are also prominences, but we view them against the sun's surface. We have these white spots, which usually are correlated to active regions, and they are called faculae or plages. So lots of details. The sun is really was really interesting in that day. You can see here this filament here, which stands nicely and becomes a prominence. And you can see another one here, also really interesting. You also see some dust on my sensor. Yes, it is on my sensor. I checked the scope, I cleaned the lens, but I think it's on the camera sensor, which I must look into because there are some specks of dust here which kind of ruin the image. The next image I caught was on the 18th, and this again shows nicely the prominences and some clearly defined filaments here. The chromosphere, the reddish ring at the edge of the solar disk is also looking good in this image. And I think if you compare the image on the 16th with the image on the 18th, you can actually see the movement, the rotation of the sun's surface. So you see here this white region, and on the 18th it moved here, and you can also see the filaments in this area, how they move across the surface just in 2 days time. Now today the sun is also looking quite interesting. We have these huge prominences here. This one is really interesting. Apparently there is a gap here. This is nicely, you could fly a ship through it. It's with good enough shields. Quite interesting as well. And this region, you can see these filaments, which on the 18th were here. Right now they are almost gone due to the rotation of the sun. Another interesting prominence is here, although it's not that visible in this image. Another one is here. And let's have a look at what the professional telescopes show us. So this is an image from the scope in El Teide in Spain. You can see the major prominences. This here, the large one. Let's try to make this smaller so that we can have a better view of it. So you can see this one here is this one, nicely seen, and then we have this one, which is this one, and I think you can see the gap in the prominence here as well. And then you have smaller ones here, and you have this one, which is less visible in my image. So quite interesting to see the similarities, but also the differences between the two images. And another thing, if you go to spaceweather.com and look at the image of the sun there, you will also find some resemblance. For instance, these active regions 3128, 3125 are those here in this area of our image. It's slightly rotated. And then you also have some active regions, some spots which are not visible in H alpha around here and around here. So where you have the large faculae, the white areas. So sunspots are not that well visible on H alpha, but H alpha does bring out some additional features. I particularly like this cross-shaped region surrounded by this white ring. It does look like the Southern Cross constellation, if you wish. It is really interesting. So yeah, that's about it for today. You got to see the changing face of the sun. Not too good weather here. We had a couple of rainy days, so I couldn't image the sun every day of the week. But what I have so far shows the dynamics behind the sun, and it shows that the sun is highly active. It's approaching the maximum. All right, thank you for watching. If you liked it, subscribe, like the video, and be sure to tune in for the live stream of the solar eclipse on the 25th, which I plan on doing in the morning to see how an eclipse looks through the H alpha filter. All right, thank you and see you soon.